Hey, hi,
Hello,
hello, you
you
bobbers.
bobbers.
We
Round
just,
two. Let's
I
try
know,
this.
round we just had everything was fine. We hit record and then we were freezing. I was hearing myself. There was delay, but I think we're good.
Yeah. I
Is this,
think we might be okay now.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
It
So,
sounds
yeah,
like a normal conversation now. This is good.
good. Thank God. Okay.
Um,
So,
so
when we
anyway, you were
ended,
talking about a bundt cake.
yes, bun cakes. Okay. So I haven't really put this out into the universe at all, but or like social media or anything, but you bubbers, my grandpa passed away last Tuesday. So like not this week, but the week before that. And we had his funeral yesterday. Well, so this coming out would be a week ago now, so a couple weeks behind. But we someone got bunt cakes. So there's a place here in Sioux Falls called Nothing Bunt Cakes. And
Yep.
they're so
National.
good. Oh, they are?
Yeah, they are so good. Yeah. We had them in
Oh, I
Vegas
didn't
and we have
realize
them here
that.
too. Uh-huh.
Okay, I didn't realize that. So they're the mini ones that we got, and I had like 4 or 5 yesterday, and then I had 2 of them right before this, but my body is not used to eating that much sugar. Like, I used to go
Yeah.
ham on sweets, and I still love sweets and I'll eat them, but I used to eat so much more than I do now, and anytime I eat more than what I'm used to, I feel my blood sugar. I feel like
Oh.
it's so weird. Like,
Mhm.
I just feel it in my body, and so yeah, I feel like a sugar high right now. It's, like, weird, but it's delicious, so good, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't regret it, but
So good.
that's just
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if they still have them, but at one point they came out with gluten-free bundt cakes, which
Oh, they probably
is
do.
yeah, they may still and they're like I guess they do them separate from the other ones to keep like the, minimum cross-contamination, like with the gluten stuff. But it was when they came out with those, it was a huge deal with like gluten-free world because it was like we could finally go get like something like,
A cake, yes.
cakes or yeah, stuff like that, which usually we end up just sitting and watching everybody else eat cake is normally how it goes.
Oh, yeah,
So they had those and they're
they're
good. But yeah, we
delicious.
used to get
Oh my
those.
god.
I got a big one. I think it was a cinnamon one, I want to say, with like icing and stuff. This is before I was gluten free, so it was like a regular one. But it for my wedding day, all of my girls came to my house and we had somebody come and like do our hair and makeup and all that stuff. And so we had a big old cinnamon nothing but cake for everybody to eat. And that would have been
Yum.
like, God, when did I get married? 2005. Yeah,
Oh
so
my
they've been
gosh.
around forever. Yeah,
Holy
that was
shit.
in Vegas. Uh-huh.
I did
Yeah,
not
they're
realize
good
that.
though. They're
I think
so
my
good.
favorite so normally I'm not like fruity, like I like chocolate, vanilla, peanut butter, like stuff like that, but their strawberry one with
Ooh.
like whatever the icing is probably my favorite. Their chocolate one is good too, but it's like a strawberry one. Yeah, so shout out to them.
Mhm.
If you haven't tried it yet, I think they're phenomenal. They're like so
Yeah.
doughy and just so
Mhm.
good.
They're
So
so
good.
good.
Yeah,
So good.
I love it. By the way, so I had a client this morning who
Mhm.
she was like, "Yeah, your co-host. What's her name again?" I said, "Kristin." And she's like, "I just love her. I just started following her a few weeks ago,
Ah.
and I love her personality. She's so funny. She likes that you're very vocal and like I can't remember how she said it, but the way she said it was very much like a compliment. How she loved how you're just very vocal about like women getting stronger and like also tying it into political and yeah, so she very much enjoys your
Aw,
personality.
thank
She loves it.
you.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, she loves you.
That's good to hear because honestly, we're always questioning ourselves constantly. And I've
Mhm.
definitely gotten a lot more vocal on that particular topic over the last few months. Like it took me a little bit of time to kind of find my voice. I used to kind of go in phases where I would like hit it really hard for a while, but then I would just get burned out and I would stop and I wouldn't really even bring it up for a while. And then I come back again. But the last few months, I've tried to be a lot more consistent with it because it's been really interesting how positive people have been responding.
Yeah.
I'm getting like DMs from people like thanking me for saying things, and it's just, yeah, it's been
That's
very like,
awesome. Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah, it's been really cool. It's been very like, not reassuring isn't the word, but like affirming,
Validating?
validating. Yeah. Just that it's like, okay, I'm doing the right thing and it's resonating with people. And it's I in fact somebody on my post yesterday. So uh this whole last week has been complete chaos in my social media. In fact, I realized last night that I forgot to even be posting podcast reels. I've been so like
Yeah.
caught up in the insanity. I was like, shit, I gotta get those up. But I made a reel as a joke. My husband and I was literally in the middle of a workout And I was, as I should not be doing, scrolling Instagram on a rest break, and I saw somebody make a reel with the video of Kid Rock where he, like, is trying to be a tough guy, and he just yells into, like, his it looks like he's on a boat or I don't know what the hell, but, he just, like, gets, like, super tough guy in his phone, and he's like, "If you fuck with Trump, you fuck with me," and I'm like, "Bro, you're like a little toothpick. What do you like, you're like grandpa, sit down, like, stop." And so I was dying. I saw that and I was freaking rolling. And I showed it to my husband and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I gotta make a reel with this. I'm like, what's the angle? What or like for my because this was also another person who stitched that same video of Kid Rock.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so this is what this person did. And they mostly just like talked about it. And I was like, what? I don't know. Like, what do I do? What's the angle? And he was like, well, he's like, the way you just laughed is like probably the angle. And he's like, and why don't he's like, go and get like some of the clips from the video he did with RFK where like they're working out in the sauna and like all these weird stuff that they posted. And I was like, okay. And literally we threw it together in like 5 minutes. I posted it on a Sunday night, which I mean, maybe that is the time. I don't know. Even
That's a good time for me.
whenever I post in the evenings, my stuff usually does not do well at all. So I have my two normal times that if I do twice a day, it's like 7:45 in the morning, our time, Central Time, and then 11:45. I try to do at least 7:45 every day, and sometimes I'll even get the 11:45. So I just threw it up thinking it was gonna, whatever. A few people are gonna see it, they're gonna laugh, whatever. That'll be the end of it. Like we had fun making it, we were cracking up making it, and that's really all that mattered. I woke up Monday morning and could not flipping believe what was happening. Like complete insanity on my Instagram page, like the number of views, the comments, the follows. At this point, as of today, and today is Friday, so it's only been what, 5 days? Like, yeah, 5 days. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's over 4,000 new followers from that one
That's fucking insane. I
reel.
remember seeing your follower count because I saw that it was kind of blowing up, and the next day you were at 3,000 something, or maybe it was 4,000. I don't remember. I texted you that you were at a certain number
Yeah.
the night before, and then when I looked the next time, it was 1,000 plus new followers in less than
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah. Crazy. So in fact, I had such little faith in that anybody was even going to see that I honestly, one of the reasons I put it up was like this is probably bad, but I purposely will post like political things that I know are going to make people mad, like certain people mad, because that kind of helps clear out the follower list a little bit. It's not that I don't want people following me, of course, you want more followers, but I want followers that are going to resonate with my message, and I want followers that are going to engage with my message and potentially even, hire me. That's, it's a business account. And those types of people aren't going to hire me or engage with my stuff. So it's like, let's go ahead and let's
You're
clear
weeding
out
those people out.
yeah, let's weed it out.
Yeah.
And so I literally, like, the phrase I even said, because I was kind of nervous about posting it for a second. And then I was like, hardly anybody's gonna see it anyway. Who cares? And so I said the exact phrase I said to my husband and my son, standing in my kitchen, holding my phone, ready to push the post button was, well, it's lose followers o'clock, hit post. And I screenshot my my Instagram, like my the front page where it has like your followers and all that,
Yeah.
because we always laugh, like we keep track of how many people unfollow because it's hilarious, like it's funny to us because it's like, those people were never going to hire me anyway. I don't care that they're leaving, so I'm not offended. And so we like, it cracks up, I'm like, oh, I lost 10 in the last hour, or ha ha ha. Oh, no, that's not what happened. I mean, I'm sure
Nope.
I did lose. I definitely, in the beginning, like the first couple of hours before I went to bed, I definitely lost like 7 or 8. But it was being countered by people that were following. And so it was hard to
Mhm.
actually keep track of it because
Yeah.
it was, and then, yeah, then like I said, woke up Monday morning and I like, apparently Dave Bautista, who is Drax in Guardians of the
Yeah,
Galaxy, and
holy
he was a
shit.
wrestler back in the day, he freaking shared it in his stories. And I didn't know, some random guy that followed me, he responded to one of my stories. I think he responded to the story where I put that Kid Rock video up in my story, and he responded and he just said, this was hilarious or something. And I wrote back and I said, thanks. Like, it's really crazy. I didn't expect it to get so much attention. And he said, well, somebody shared it. I think it was Dave Bautista. And I was like, what? And so I go to Dave Bautista's page and there I freaking am. And oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Like he has like 5.4 million followers. And that's, I think, what did it. And my husband put my account in, he uses the Claude AI thing. And he had Claude analyze my account starting at like that. I think it was Monday morning. And it was like tracking all of it, like the views per hour, followers per hour, all the stats, it at one point it was almost 200 followers an hour.
That's insane.
Yes, it was like 197, 198, something like that per hour at
Yeah.
one point. And so, and it was like kind of trying to, figure out the trajectory and like how many followers I'll have by certain time points. But that evening, though, is when I found out that Dave Bautista shared it. And so then we put back in Claude, like, okay, he shared it. And we figured out based on the timestamp on the post, it was around 12:30, noon, 12:30, that he shared it. And so he put that in. And Claude was like, oh, okay, that's why you were getting, like, that's why the follower spike happened, like the 200 almost per hour, were because he shared it. And then he's like, that's going to, as that story kind of dies out, then this is all going to, dwindle down and whatever. It was really interesting how AI can like look at that.
That's
And
pretty cool.
it even gave like, he has a chart that shows like how, like, at what times I had like the big spikes and felt like the chart's really interesting to see. And AI's wild, man.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But then like I started freaking out because like by Tuesday evening, Tommy Lee liked it. And he's like, because for people that aren't as old as me, he's the drummer for Motley Crue, the band Motley Crue, which like I grew up freaking loved Motley Crue growing up. And Tommy Lee was like, it was almost like Fall Out Boy, where like nobody really knows the lead singer's name, but everybody knows the drummers,
Yeah.
And like he was married to Pam Anderson and like it was a whole thing. But Kid Rock also was married to Pam Anderson at one point. So they have beef. I guess I didn't know this, but apparently at some awards show, like in the early 2000s, they got into like a literal fight and Kid Rock got like arrested or cited or charged, or I don't know. I don't know all the details of it, but yeah. So he liked it. And I was like, holy shit, Tommy Lee knows I'm alive. Like, oh my God. And then, oh my God, what's his name? Chris Caffrey, who is the lead guitarist for like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, all that. He fucking followed me. I'm like, bro, hi, this is nuts. Why are you following me? Like, holy shit. Like, I mean, if you're interested in women's fitness content, I got you, but I don't understand why you're following me, but welcome. Hello.
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was like, I was like freaking the freak out, man. I was losing my shit. But so on that post, it was very, very, very like supportive. People were very positive. People, it was a very positive reception that I got from people. Most people just thought it was funny. But you're going to have the trolls that are going to show up.
Oh, yeah.
And so, and it's very few by comparison. I mean, I don't know. I haven't even actually looked in the last day or two, but the last time I looked, it had well over 8,000 comments. And it was, I know I can look at it right now.
Holy shit.
But the negative, like of those 8,000 comments, the negative comments were like, I don't know, maybe 100, like it was very, very, very drowned out by all the positivity. Hold on, let me find it here. Where am I? Sometimes my Instagram's been active. I thought it was my Wi-Fi is why my Instagram was acting up. Here it is. Okay. So it has currently got 851,000 views and 9.6 thousand comments, which is insane. Absolutely insane. The negative comments in all of that are very few and far between. And what's really funny is that most of them are, it's men that are trying to offend my looks and things like that. And I'm like, I mean, okay, like I don't say this, but I'm like, honestly, the last thing in the world I'm trying to do is to be attractive to men like you. So like,
true.
That means I'm being successful at something. Like, thanks. And my favorite one, I actually screenshot it, was a guy. He's like, oh, whatever. He's 55 years old and you're, what did he say? you're not even 30 and you're out here looking like a 40-year-old. And I was like, bro, best compliment in the world because I
How
am
the fuck does he know
47,
your
bitches.
age? Like,
He
why would he
doesn't.
even
I don't
what the
know. And
hell?
I replied back. I was like, that is the best compliment I have been given in a long time because you're over here thinking I'm under 30. I was like, my Gen X ass is like, hell yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Oh
Like
my
I'm
god.
47. So even to tell me I look like a 40-year-old is a compliment. So
That's
I'm like,
funny.
you thought you had me, sir, but it backfired a little bit on
Joke's
you.
on you.
Yeah, but so anyway, this is a very long drawn out story to get back to what you're talking about with your client. The next day I posted or maybe a day or two later. It's a reel that I had posted a long time ago, like, well, a few times. I posted a couple of
Oh,
times where a
yeah.
guy
Yep.
was like saying like he can't take me seriously because my rainbow flag behind me makes me not able to be taken seriously, whatever it is. And I made a reel. I was like, you know what? Let's just address the damn flag because I have been purposely making videos in front of that flag for years now. And
Yeah.
I just sort of don't address it. I just kind of let it be there back at the time. Like I was afraid, honestly. I was afraid to really I don't know, to say too much. I didn't want to deal with the trolls. I just from a mental
Yeah.
health perspective, I didn't want to deal with that. And so
Yeah.
I would always have it in the videos and I always made sure it was in at least 1 or 2 per week because that kind of helped weed out people. Like my clients are very I very commonly will have clients that are members of the LGBTQ community and we're all feminists and and we're all very vocal and outspoken. And to have someone join us that is not on the same page with that would really kind of fuck with our vibe, you know? And so I try to be very, very careful. Like, even when I do consultations with people, I will purposely say things like, how much of a feminist I am just to see their reaction. And there definitely have been times where I've just not followed up with people or whatever. Like, if I don't think you're going to fit our vibe, I can't, you can't come. You
Yeah.
can't play with us because we are very much a safe space. And I am very conscious about keeping it a safe space.
Yeah. That's good.
And so it always helps to have that in the videos because then those people just don't reach out to me at all, which is perfect. Like, that's what I want. And so when that guy made a comment on it several months back, I was like, you know what? It's time I address this thing. I'm just going to put it out there. And so I made a video about, I basically why I do that, why I record in front of it and whatnot. So I reposted that, except I took out the beginning and the end. Instead of it being that guy, I took a whole bunch of the comments that came on that Kid Rock reel about the flag. And I was like, all of these people seem to have issues with my flag. Great. And let me tell you why. And then I put that reel in. But on that post, though, someone commented and she said something along the lines of, finally a female forward fitness account that I can get behind or something like that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
and it was really like, I've told my husband, I'm like, I know that there's women out there that are looking for kind of that intersection of fitness and feminism and all of that. And while I've always been that, I've not always been vocal about that. And if I'm not vocal, how are they going to find me? And so
Mhm.
that's when I started getting a lot more outspoken and a lot more bold about it. So, it's like that
Love
lady, I
that.
told him last night, I was like, that comment right there is exactly why I'm saying this. And then now to hear what you're saying about like that's exactly, those people are exactly why I started. Cause those are the people I want to find. Those are the people I want on my account. Those are the people I want to interact with. And, so that was a really, really, really long drawn out way to say thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. Oh, and if there's anyone who is listening to our podcast now because of Kristin's post, hey, hi,
Oh,
hey,
hey.
hi, hello, welcome. Like, let us know that you came from her
Yeah.
because we definitely I got maybe like 2, 3, 4 followers
Mhm.
from that, but also because of the UBob account, Instagram. I know we got a
Oh,
few from
yeah.
that too
Yeah.
because of your post. So yeah,
Yeah.
anyone that's new from
Awesome.
Kristin's post, hello,
Hey.
welcome.
Glad you're here.
You know something else that I thought of? I kept meaning to bring this up, and then I kept forgetting every single time we recorded, and then I would remember again, but we never introduce ourselves. Like, I mean, on video, it
Oh,
says our
yeah.
names and who we are, but we never say, like, who is who. Like, I'm Sophia, and, like,
Oh,
you're
shit. Yeah.
Kristin.
Hi, I'm
And I'm
Kristen.
sure you could probably
Well,
people could probably
in
put
the
it
intro.
together.
in the intro
Oh,
before
that's yeah,
the
that's true, that's true, that's true. Oh, which reminds me, we need to redo that because
yeah,
I
we
sound
do.
like shit, but
Yeah.
yeah, so, yeah, okay. I forgot about the intro, so I guess it does have that.
Yeah, it is technically there, but we
Yeah.
probably do sound different though from the intro because we had like different equipment and
The
we
audio
were
is
yeah,
my
the
audio
audio,
is not
yeah.
good.
Yeah, that was
So
when we
good.
like literally that was I think that intro is probably the very first thing we ever recorded. We didn't know what the hell we were doing at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We were just
Nope.
winging it. So yeah,
Yep,
you're right. We probably ought to we
yep.
definitely because I was listening to it, I don't know, one of the last episodes and I was like
I
and
don't
we
like
even
listening to it.
sound different. Like our
Yeah,
we
it's
don't
not good.
our voices don't match. And I was just like, I
Yeah,
think we need to re-record that. I'm
we
glad you brought it
do.
up because I
Yep.
meant to say that and I kept forgetting to.
Yep. And the other thing too, I went to our stats and I was gonna send you like a video or a picture of this, but there was a definite spike after that post that you made of like,
Really?
and there has always been like a slow incline of like
Mhm.
listeners and downloads and like it's never been like up and down. It's been like a slow increase. But yeah, there was like a little bit of a spike there
Oh,
from
fun.
listeners. So yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope y'all hit subscribe and, stuck around. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So speaking of Instagram, you, I believe, know someone by the name of, hold on, let me get it right. Macy Utia? Utia?
Oh,
Your
yes,
She's
Rutia.
on your team.
Yes, she competed at the Arnold with me.
Yeah.
So
She was at so we just figured this. So our gym is called Los Campeones, and there's a photographer who Jason, let me see here.
oh, Macy just posted a bunch of pictures that she had
Yes,
done with
it's
a
like
photographer.
Jason
Is that it?
Bolin. Yeah, yeah, I think it's Jason Bolin photography. His pictures are pretty cool. And so I saw the post and she kind of looked familiar to me, but I didn't really think anything of it. But Kiana was the one that was like, she looked really, really, really familiar and she looked into it and it's the girl from your teammate. We saw her
Yeah,
compete with you at the Arnold
yeah.
and she goes, so the photography stuff, the photos were at Los Campeones, but I think she goes to a different gym. So she must live here.
Oh, yeah, she does. So I actually talked to her that day.
Oh
I
my God.
because I'm not sure why she asked me. She must have seen something. I wonder if it was she might have seen like you know how when I post the podcast reels, like I kind of alternate between whether the location is Sioux Falls or Nashville. I'm guessing maybe she saw one of those because she came up to me and she goes, "Do you live in Sioux Falls?" And I said, "No. My podcast host lives in Sioux Falls." I was like, "Do you?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh, how crazy. Like, wouldn't it be crazy if y'all knew each other?" And then but it was like the day of the meet, so we didn't really
Yeah,
like follow up with that or anything because,
yeah.
me. But yeah, like we totally had that conversation on that day.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
yeah, that's so funny. What a
I know,
yeah,
like, what are the chances of that? Like, that's crazy. I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah.
yeah, so
Oh,
that was the other thing I just found out right before we started recording
yeah, that's
that I
so
had to tell you.
funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
the world is so small.
I
Like
know, that's what Kiana said, I'm like,
it is
seriously.
it's crazy how the
Yeah,
connections are.
yeah.
All right. Well, I have my quick bullshit because this will just be quick bullshit because then this bullshit will be expanded upon probably the next time we record. I've only told a handful of people this because
Oh my God, what?
it's not a huge deal. It's not a huge deal.
Okay.
But
I'm like, "You're
I'm just
pregnant." No.
I'm very no fuck, bro. No. I don't think I can. I don't even know that
Oh.
my body could do that now with my freaking cancer meds, but which
Oh,
that
yeah.
honestly, if the vasectomy is doing its job, I ain't pregnant. So that was one of the things like years ago, totally digressing from ADHD be like a couple of years ago, several years ago, I wanted to go off of birth control because I was sick of like synthetic hormones and all that shit. And so my husband got a vasectomy. And this was also right after like the overturning of Roe versus Wade and all the stuff. And in Tennessee, it is incredibly scary, honestly, to potentially get pregnant in Tennessee because even if like there have been several women who you literally have to be like almost dying before they will help you if you have any complications and things like that. Like the laws here are not female friendly at all. And so I was like, I am not, and at my age, the likelihood of a healthy pregnancy is probably pretty minimal. And this was even before I had cancer. But he was like, I was like, dude, just get a vasectomy. Like that would save so many freaking problems. Like just get a vasectomy. So he did. And he got a fucking souvenir t-shirt. I'm like, listen, every year I go to the gynecologist and get poked and prodded down there, and they don't give me shit except some tissues to clean up. And he got a t-shirt that said, I think it says something like vasectomy survivor, and then underneath it says, I kid you not.
Oh my god.
It's so funny. And so I was like, bro, like one time you go and have your shit messed with and you get a t-shirt. I have to go every year. I don't get anything.
What the hell?
That's so funny. But anyway, totally digressing. I am not pregnant, all that to say. But I, for several months now, since I want to say like October, maybe, I have been making payments because it is outrageously expensive, though worth it, in my opinion. I'm very scared. Next week, I'm going
Debt
to
free?
do, huh?
What? No, sorry, go
Oh,
ahead. I was
oh,
guessing.
Next, so you probably won't guess this. It's like not.
Tattoos. Okay.
No, no, that I would just talk about. No, I'm going to do a boudoir photo shoot.
Yes! Oh my
I'm
god. Oh my
I
god. Yes,
know.
Kristen.
I'm so
Yes.
nervous. I'm so nervous. And
Oh my god.
mhm. Yeah. So like I said, I've been paying on this since like October. And
Paid what? Paid what? What do you mean paying on?
it's expensive. So I've
Okay,
been
so you've
making
been making
payments.
payments. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely not
And
cheap.
yeah, and then so like it needs to be like paid off by whenever you pick for your session. And so
Okay.
I totally like so my anniversary is May 7th, and so I wanted to have these done and be able to have them back for by our anniversary. And so I told her, I was like, maybe like March, April, something like that. And she only does Wednesdays. And we were looking at it, and I was like, honestly, it's just freaking poetic that I do this on April Fool's Day. So it's gonna be on April 1st.
Oh my god.
Um
Oh my god.
and
What's her name?
yeah.
Who is it?
Her name is Kristin let me look. It's Kristin with an E. I spell mine with an I. She spells her with an E. But it's like Fondel. Hold on, let me look up exactly how you say Fonville.
Forgione. Oh,
Fonville, Fonville. So I actually just emailed her this morning to ask her if she was okay with me like kind of vlogging the whole thing. Like I was going to do a whole thing like from getting ready here at home,
oh my
just
god,
kind of talking about
yes.
like my nerves, all the things. And she was doing like a 40 over 40 kind of a thing. And so she was looking specifically for women over 40. And I filled out the thing because it's something I'd been wanting to do for a while, but I mean, money honestly was a really big detractor. But
Yeah.
I was just nervous, and I kept putting it off. And the timing of it, like when I happened to see her ad for the 40 over 40 thing, was sort of right in that time period where I was starting to just feel, I don't know, like maybe it's more confidence or whatever after cancer treatment ended. And it just seemed like it was like a very like, we've talked about how like I very much believe in signs and things like that.
Yeah.
And it just felt like it sort of presented itself to me right at the perfect time where I was like, you know what? Like I was about to have my 47th birthday. It was right in that time period where it was a year from when I was diagnosed. And I was like, it just feels right. Like, let
Yeah.
me just fill this thing out. So I filled it
Yep.
out. I kind of told my whole cancer story and, all the things. And then like a month or so later, or I guess that was maybe earlier. That probably must have been in like September. And then it was like in October that she messaged me and she's like, hey, you want to get on a call? We can talk about like how all this works. And I'm like, shit, okay. And so we did, and she was super cool and she was very nice. And she's like, okay, like I'll send you over because you have to choose your package that you want to get. Because like
Mhm.
I said, you have to make payments, you have to have it paid off before the shoot. So I did all that, and you can pick different like sets that she has, like sets meaning like, backgrounds and whatever.
Mhm.
And so I did that. I have four different ones. And so I needed 4 different outfits, although one of them is she has already. It's literally just like it's just a white tank top that gets wet, and she has like specific, because I guess she cuts them like a certain way and whatever she wants, like
Oh,
she has
yeah.
specific ones she wants to use. So she has that, but then I needed 3 others, and which is very not me. I don't
Yeah.
Shocking, I know, but it's like
Yeah.
I don't do the
Ugh.
lacy, I just that's not my thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so especially these last couple of months because I started like panicking that it's coming and I still don't completely have what I need. And in fact, the last one that I need, I've been struggling with just because I've ordered a few and they've come in, but they're just not very supportive. And while I don't exactly have the biggest boobs in the world, I am 47 years old and I've had breast cancer. So they need help being put where they're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of these things are not very supportive because they're very thin and flimsy and you know what I mean? And so especially like with radiation treatment, like that side is like tightened so like they're like offset and I'm like okay
Yeah.
wait we need to I at least need them to like be looking at the same height, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I just messaged her because I have one that I really like, but I didn't realize when I order it, the fucking thing's crotchless. And I was like, okay, I'm not trying to do all that in photos. Like that's, we don't need to be seeing all that.
Oh my God.
And so I like, but it's the one I like that like it fits me the best. It like the lines on it look the best. And so I was like, is there a way we can make this not crotchless? Like, I don't know, like a pad or can we stick something like in there that I don't know. So anyway, I messaged her asking I was like, I'm sorry if this is a crazy question, but I like legit I don't know how to girl. Like I just don't know I don't know how. And so yeah, so I asked
Oh
her
my God, I'm
that
so
and I
excited for
asked her
you.
if she was okay if I like vlogged the whole thing because I feel like it's a very like empowering
It is.
like it's
It
such
is.
a very positive yeah so I'm like I think that would be a really cool thing for social media. Like I wouldn't try really show a lot of the pictures. I mean, maybe as long as they're not too,
Yeah.
I do have a teenage son that I have to consider, so I have to be
Yes.
careful what I show on the internet. But I would say I think it'd be cool to do a vlog, whether it's just on my website or if I put it up on Instagram or whatever. So
Yeah.
I would say I'm going to mention it today because potentially that vlog could be up before the
Oh my God,
next
I'm so
time we
excited
like
for you.
record an episode, so people might
Yes.
see it. But
I've done quite a few actually.
have you
And
really?
oh yeah, I've done so the first time I did it was before I met Kiana, maybe like a year, I don't know, a year or two before I met Kiana, I don't remember. But anyways, I used to not really be about it. I didn't really understand like what the hype was behind it and I'm like I
Mhm.
don't know, I was not into it. But one of my clients actually, she would do it at least once a year, sometimes twice a year and she over and over again would try and get me to do it,
Mm.
to do a boudoir session and she one time put it to her, she said it's so empowering to her because there's times that she looks at her body and she also I don't wanna get this wrong, well, I know she was an alcoholic or maybe into drugs, but I feel like she had maybe breast cancer or she had I don't remember exactly, but something was going on, but for her, it was very empowering for her, and there's times that she looks at her body and she just doesn't like much of us, many of us didn't like how her body looks in certain ways, and
Mhm.
she just felt like the photographer that she went to just does such a good job
Yeah.
with, like, making you feel sexy, making you,
Yes.
like, be that person where it's like you feel sexy, you are sexy, you feel like a badass, you feel confident,
Yeah.
and it's through those photos, and so I was like, "Okay, like, interesting," like, so hearing that repetition over and over again
Mhm.
I was like, "Okay, let me give this a try." So I did. The first one that I did, 100% had some wine. Like, the photographer had some, so I drank a little bit just to kinda, like, loosen up, and then after that, like, I didn't need the alcohol anymore, but, the next few sessions that I did after that. But, yeah, I totally understood once I went through it, the
Mhm.
empowerment that I felt, the confidence, the badassness,
Yeah.
the sexiness, like, it's yeah, it's a whole different experience, so I definitely recommend it to anyone that wants to do it. I did it for Kiana, for one of her birthdays. I made, like, a calendar for her. I've just done them just for me, and it doesn't have to be for anyone else, it could just be for
Mhm.
yourself,
Yep.
just we have a friend who does it every year for her birthday, so it's
Yeah.
totally just yeah, whatever. It's
Yep.
fun though. Mhm,
Yeah. I
mhm.
initially, like, way back when, I wanted to do it for my 40th birthday, and it was the cost at the time. I was, trying what the hell? Yeah, I was a teacher. Sorry, I'm, like, totally standing up and situating myself. I sit like a child. But it was the cost, and what's funny, though, is, like, I look back at the cost of that, and I'm like, "Oh, wait, that was a whole lot cheaper than what I just paid." But it was also how many years ago, you know?
Yeah.
But I and two, like, I'm sure, like, it varies based on the person's experience
Mhm.
and all of that. And
Yeah.
Kristin, like, she has a very clear portfolio of very awesome shit. She has a Facebook
Yeah.
group that I also
Oh, yeah.
joined where, she like she will post some other people's pictures and things and talk about some of the different styles of outfits you can do, whether it's like just like a one piece versus like two separate pieces, and why people make just like
Yep.
it's very informative, and it makes you feel a little better. And when you're in the group and you realize that there's all these other people that have all these same feelings of like nerves and
Yeah.
things like that, like, it's like, okay, it's all right. Like, they felt like that too, and they went through with it, and they did it. So, yeah, but
Mhm. Mhm.
this is just very not
Oh my god, I'm so excited for
me,
you.
which is exactly why I wanted to do it. And it was like what I told her too, like when I emailed her asking if she was okay if I vlog, because I didn't want to just show up at her door recording, and she's like, what the hell? So I wanted to get her permission first. And I said, it definitely will be done from an angle of empowerment, both like just general female empowerment, but also empowerment in the sense of like taking myself back after cancer, like
Oh, hell yeah.
loving my body again. And like you said, like, it's just things, I didn't, thank goodness I didn't need to have a mastectomy or anything like that, but still, just from treatment alone, things aren't what they used to be. And even surgery,
Yep.
like, I have scars and things like that. And it's just, it just feels like I said, like, just kind of taking my body back. And
Mhm. Mhm.
so yeah, so
That's exciting.
I'm excited.
I'm so
I'm excited.
excited.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna fix my window because I am, like, very bright right now.
yeah,
Hold on.
sure. Do I talk about pooping my pants again while you're
Oh my
gone, or?
god.
I have no other
Oh.
pooping my pants stories, for the record. I only pooped my pants at one time.
God, that's so funny. Hilarious. So the only other thing that I had was I made an appointment to get my hair done. And the only reason I was gonna make a hair appointment for my concert that I'm going to in May, the beginning of May. We're going to 2 friends who, if anyone knows the Big Booty Mixes, that, like, if you know, you know, but they do remixes of songs, like mashups, and it's
Mm,
EDM style and things like that. I'm obsessed. But we're going to a concert for that May 1st, I believe, and I was gonna get my hair done purple for that.
yep.
Well, only considering not doing purple.
Oh,
And I
okay.
don't know what to do. And the spa, so we're doing a social media day in like 2 weeks, and so I want the owner of the spa was like, "Well, are you gonna get your hair done for the social media day?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't even think about that." And I booked it like ASAP because she gets booked fast.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, "I'm might do purple, but I'm considering doing like a chestnut brown." So,
Oh,
my hair is like, you can kinda see it's a brownish,
yeah.
and so I might go with a brown, a chestnut brown. I'm, like, kind of leaning towards that, but also my purple, it's, like, my
It's like
identity, so I don't
signature.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard.
I know.
When I used to do my hair crazy colors, well, it was pretty much always purple. I did do blue a little bit, but blue does not wash out nice. So
Yeah.
like, if I was gonna do blue, like, you'd have to really stay on top of it because it washes out looking like you just spent too much time in the chlorine pool. Like, it
Oh, yeah.
doesn't. It's not good.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but when I was doing purple, that was my favorite. But I kind of had this, like, I would go back and forth. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Maybe do I just want to do, like you said, either just
Yeah.
brown or just back to just blonde, or, yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard because
So, we'll
it's also not
see.
cheap. So it's like, I want to make sure I make the
Yeah.
right choice. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly, I don't wanna regret
Um,
it. I know, like, hair grows out, I can always change it the
sure.
next time, but I don't know.
Mm,
We'll see, we'll see.
I don't know. We'll see
It's
what
next week,
happens.
though. It's,
So it's
either the next week or the week after that I'm getting it done, so, yeah.
all
We'll see.
right. We'll see.
41 minutes in for this intro.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty standard, about 40 minutes.
Sounds about right.
Do you have a quote this week or
Um,
this episode?
so, yeah, I was thinking about it. I don't have a specific one. I guess I kind of do. It's more of like a PSA or a reminder to. And it's so cliche. I put this up on my Instagram story, and just because the past, like, week and a half it's been really hard emotionally, mentally, like, just the sadness and the grief and all of that, and it just has reminded me of some things, and one of the things is you just never know what someone is going through. Like, you never know what someone's
Yeah.
going through, and just be kind. Even if maybe you're in a state of frustration or anger, like all emotions are valid, but even when you don't want to be kind, just do your best because you just never
Yeah.
know. I was driving and so there's cars in front of me and it was at a stoplight and this car was, like, flipping someone off, and I thought it was I don't know if it was me or not, like, granted, don't know who if it was to me or not, but she kept looking up at her mirrors and, like, looking at me and then, like, flipping me off or flipping someone off, and it didn't bother me, like, Kiana says I'm in an emo phase because I, like, don't care about things, I'm like I do and I don't, it's like I'm doing the bare minimum. Anything that I have worried about in the past and that would normally bring anxiousness, I haven't had an anxious feeling the past 2 weeks, like, at all, which is not normal for me. Like, normally, I have this, like, anxious feeling about work or about, like, something else. I make up scenarios in my mind, like,
Mhm.
it's a thing, and I haven't had that. And so for me, when that was happening, I was like, "Okay," like, it didn't bother me at all, but it just reminded me, you just never know what someone's going through,
Yeah.
and just be kind. And then the other thing is on social media, like, sometimes I will share lows, people share their vulnerability, but sometimes there's a lot that people aren't sharing. It's just not
Yes.
for social media.
Yes.
And so don't compare yourself to other people because there's always, 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 always shit behind the scenes that no one is
Mhm.
sharing. It's
100%.
social media is such an illusion.
Yep.
So just keep those two things in mind. That's
Yeah.
my quote reminder of the day.
Good message. Good
Mhm.
message. My shirt today, well behaved women seldom make history.
Love it.
Yeah, it's
Classic.
self explanatory. Yeah,
Yes.
classic. Like, quit being so well behaved, push back.
That's very true. Mhm.
So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and start the actual topic. Sleep. We're going to talk about sleep this episode. We're going to talk about strategies, tips, habits, things like that that can help you get better sleep and reasons why we should be prioritizing good sleep. It's
Hell yeah. It's very
pretty
important. I
much
mean,
it.
yeah, and I think this is one thing that comes up with my clients and with people. It's something that is underrated and people don't think
Hmm.
about. It's like, okay, I
Yes.
need to change the way I eat. I need to start working out. I need movement. I need to get more steps in. But like
Hydration.
sleep,
Yeah.
hydration, yes, the water. But sleep is something that is often overlooked, and I think for so many years, it was like, "You can sleep when you're dead. Hustle, hustle, hustle," like,
Hmm.
but really, the sleep is only going to help you to live longer and live better,
Yes.
and to reach your goals, like, whether it's losing weight or losing body fat or building muscle to feel better, have energy, confidence, sleep is at the forefront. Quality sleep.
Yep. Yep. 100%. And we've talked, I think, in other episodes, I don't remember which ones, but we've talked about how when we're not getting enough or good quality sleep, it starts affecting like your hunger signals and things like that. So it makes things like fat loss a lot harder.
Yes.
I think it's probably obvious to most people that it would affect performance as far as, if you're trying to build muscle or if you do any kind of a sport or things like that, it affects performance. When I have clients that maybe aren't hitting weights that they're used to hitting, like my first questions are, one, where are you in your cycle? And then how has been your sleep? How's been your nutrition? How's been your hydration?
Yes.
How's been, why did I say it like that? I don't know, um but that's it. Like, sleep is, like you said, I think people just don't consider it. They're just like, oh, and so many people to say to me too, like, oh, my sleep just sucks. And it's like, that's just how it is. I'm like, no, no,
Just
no,
the way
no.
that it is.
Yeah, I'm like, no, that's important. Like, that might be a big reason why you feel like progress is so hard, or
Mhm.
you're stuck on certain things. Like, let's look at this, let's analyze this, and let's figure out why.
Yep.
Um,
Think sometimes so if clients tell me, "Oh, I only had a couple hours of sleep," or if we have an early morning workout and they barely got any sleep, there's times when I'm like, "We're not working out today or that early,
mhm,
like, you need to get sleep." There is like, sometimes I think that there is that I don't know how to say this, that line or that middle ground to almost of, like, there are gonna be times when we don't get enough sleep or we
mhm,
don't have quality sleep, so
sure,
it's like at times, we do still work out and move our body and lift weights. It might not be the best workout. You might not
mhm,
feel your strongest. It might not be doing, as much as when you do get sleep, But, yeah, so just, like, keeping that in mind
Yeah.
too, like, having finding that middle ground at times and
Yeah.
knowing that it might not you might still be working out even on little to no good sleep, quality sleep.
Right. Yeah. I mean, things like new moms, like
Yeah. Oh my
that's
gosh,
just
yes.
how it's going to be. Unfortunately, that just comes with the
Yeah.
territory. And so we've got to learn to like kind of how do we navigate that?
Yeah,
And
during that period of time, that season of
yeah,
life. Yeah.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. We talk a lot about seasons, and that just happens to be what your season is like. And that doesn't mean you don't work out. Like if you're feeling it and you want to, all that, then absolutely do it. But I think it comes down to like the expectations as well as the grace that you give yourself during that time, like that those workouts are going to be more the maintenance workouts, like maintain and keep
Yes.
my muscle. And then once the baby starts sleeping more or, whatever situation changes that you're able to get some better quality rest, that's when you can really start hitting it harder and you can go into that phase or that season of, building muscle and that kind of stuff. So it's just the lifestyle thing I think is really difficult for a lot of people. Like what I mean by that is like so many of us have the all or nothing mindset. Well, if I can't, do da 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 da, then I'm not going to bother. But just knowing that making this a solid, like healthy part of your lifestyle is going to require you to be okay with those different phases because that's life. Life is going to life, So,
Yep, learning to, like, navigate that during
yeah.
that time and learning to get and sometimes you're almost it's like you're forced to navigate that so that you can get out of that all or nothing
Mhm.
mentality and mindset.
True.
Like, I feel like it's good for us to do that and go through that
Yeah.
because then, yeah, you have to kind of navigate that. And same thing with, like, if people have a rotating schedule or, like, Kiana's on
Right.
overnights right now, but she's still trying to
Yes.
make it work. She's like, the routine is not as normal as, like, it used to be or, what maybe she would want ideally, but just doing what she can
Yeah.
for this season of life of her working
Yeah.
overnights.
Yeah, yeah, overnight stuff. I've worked with several nurses that do, like, overnights and things, and yeah, figuring out how to navigate that is really tricky. So one of the first things I had that came up on my list was just talking about sleep quality versus sleep quantity, and I think a lot of people feel like I'll talk to a lot of people and, they'll say, "I get, like, 7, 8 hours of sleep," which is fantastic, but they're like, "I still wake up feeling like shit." And so then it's like the amount of sleep that you're getting is good. It's not necessarily maybe about more sleep, but it's about how can you make your quality of sleep better so that you don't wake up feeling like that. Do you wear a tracker when you sleep, like a
I
watch or
don't.
anything? I do just because I'm obsessed with data. I love to see all that
You
stuff.
are?
I am
Yes.
math life, math teacher life. It's really interesting how you can see in like the sleep phases, like the deep sleep versus the light sleep and all that. You can see in the sleep phases how I feel. So like the next day when I'm just like I am just not feeling it. And I'll open up my app and I'll look and I'll be like, oh, it was almost entirely light sleep. I got like very little REM or deep sleep. And then vice versa. Like I'll wake up sometimes like, oh my God, like I feel great. And then my deep sleep and my REM sleep will have been a lot higher.
Crazy.
It's really interesting. So I guess then the question becomes, how do we like do that? How do we promote the good quality sleep? And I think
Mm,
that's where a lot of our
mhm.
habits and stuff like that come in. So what are some of your we actually we didn't talk a couple of episodes ago, we talked about improving our sleep habits and things. So I don't know if
Oh,
this is a good place
yeah.
to talk about what we do or if we just want to stay general and we can talk about what we've been doing at the end.
I think we can kinda go like, I'll say what I do, and then some of the biggest thing that maybe I have my clients do
Okay.
or, vice versa,
Yeah.
whatever. So, I have been working on not watching shows. Like, once I get into a show, I just watch it, and it's hard for me to d one and done, it's hard. If Kiana's here, she's usually the one that turns it off and is like, "Let's go to bed," because she would wake up before she was doing overnights, she would wake up earlier than me. And so I I started to really struggle with that, but also having my phone and doom scrolling. It for some reason just was hard for me to stop being on my phone and stop watching a show. And I used to not have a TV, so it was great. I would eat my dinner, I would take a bath, I would meditate, I would go to bed, I would journal. It was great. It was a great routine. And then over the last few years being with Kiana. Like, it's not a bad thing. I like the time that we have when we watch a show and just hanging out. I'm grateful for that. But I struggle now when I'm on my own to just not watch that show. And I like watching a show while I eat, like I just do. And so I struggle though to just turn it off. So I've been working on just eating, doing maybe one show, turn it off. Don't look at my phone. Don't even go on my phone and scroll. Otherwise, I know that I cannot stop.
Yeah.
So I will take a bath after my one and then go. So that's what I've been working on is like one show and done, not scrolling on my phone and taking a bath or a shower and then going to bed. Cause I notice when I take a bath or a shower, I think there's maybe data behind this. I don't know 100%, but I think maybe there is. When you take a shower or a bath before bed, and when I do it the next morning, how I feel when I wake up, I sleep better and I
Wow.
feel like it's so, and then compared to when I don't, it's like night and day. It's crazy.
Interesting.
That's why I like
Hmm.
taking a bath and shower before bed. Yeah, because, like, it's calming my mind. I listen maybe to meditation music or just being in the quiet. Something else that I do too, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on the podcast. When I take a bath, I put candles around the bathtub
Hmm.
and I close shut the lights off. And here's where the secret comes in. It's a mental thing. This was actually very helpful when I was newly single and had a lot of like so much shit was happening at work and like all of those things, right? Mentally and all of that, emotionally. And I take the shower curtain and I close it. And it's like everything outside of that shower curtain
Oh.
is out there. Nothing matters. Any anxiety, any stress, any worry of the day, any worry of tomorrow, anything that on my to-do list, anything that I'm dealing with. When I'm in that bathtub, that thing is closed. It's just me. It's just myself.
Wow.
And it's very healing.
I love
So
that.
I highly recommend doing that.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. That's
Yeah.
so good. That's so good.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
I feel like agreed. I don't know what it is, but I do think that there is research of some kind around the shower, the bath, whatever
Mhm.
before bedtime. Like especially like that warm water is like
Yeah.
calming and all of that. I've never really been a big bath person.
What?
But so in this house, so we've been here in this house, I guess coming up on like 12 years. In our master bathroom, we don't have a tub. It's a really big shower. It's like all just a full tiled big shower, like with a door that you just walk in, you know. But in our other bathroom, the one my son uses, it is a tub. And he takes a lot of baths because as a runner, he does a lot of like Epsom salt baths and things like
Oh,
that
yeah.
during the season. So he takes a lot of baths. So I could go in and do that. I should try. Maybe that'll
Yeah.
help calm my ass down. I also don't I'm a morning showerer because I feel like that helps me, like, start my day, like, I feel really, like
Wake up.
yeah, like, I feel really, like, refreshed and whatever to, like, go for the day, but also curly hair and showering the night before, that's a
Mm,
struggle.
yeah.
That's a struggle because it's not
Yeah.
good. Like, I need it to be fresh, wet out of the shower. I don't wash my hair every day, but at least, like, making it wet so that I can, like, restyle it, you know? But,
There is something too, so really briefly, there is something energetically that happens when we shower and when we take a bath. Whether it's at night, in the morning,
Mhm.
midday, I've taken a bath midday before. It's like energetically and also if I'm on my phone, I'm like, "Oh my god, just stop." Like I'm like, "Why stop being on your phone?"
Right.
Or just from the workday, whatever it may be. It's like once you take that, at least for me, it's like once I shower, once I take that bath, it's like energetically I'm reset as well.
Yeah, yeah, it feels like a
Yeah.
reset. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. So what's the thing that you're working on?
So, kinda I mean, not the bath part, but the phone part, just getting myself the hell off my phone, which I will be real honest, has been tough this last week with that real freaking going crazy, you
Oh,
know, like,
yeah.
it's hard to not keep, like, going and refreshing and seeing what the new number is now and, you know, like, that dopamine hit of seeing that number go up and even just, like, reading some of the comments and laughing, like, 'cause some of the things people were saying were so freaking funny, and, you know, it was just yeah, that got really tricky. And I actually forgot that. So it was only about a week ago that we decided this was going to be our topic for this episode. And we were like, okay, I think I'm the one who even said it. Like, okay, we have a week to like try to improve some of our habits, and then we'll talk about it on the episode. And I forgot that I even said that to you. And so it wasn't until like maybe Wednesday, I think I happened to see in my calendar that we were recording today. And I was like, oh shit, I was supposed to be like working on my
Working on
sleep
this,
habits.
yeah.
Yeah. So the last couple of days I have tried to be a little more conscientious about it. Still not putting it down when I should be. However, not up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning on it either. So I have, somewhere in the middle, I guess. I've had a happy medium. Our routine tends to pretty much be kind of maybe similar, just kind of hanging out on the couch, chilling, watching some show. One of the things when I was really struggling with sleep after cancer, when I was doing my survivorship therapy, one of the things that she had me do was she's like, it's fine if you want to watch TV. Like, we're not going to totally take away TV, even though we shouldn't really be. But she said, just be really conscientious of what you're watching. She said, when it gets after anything after, she gave me a 7 p.m. cutoff. She said, anything after 7 p.m., it needs to be like a comedy or something like that. Because I'm a true crime person. Like, I love true crime stuff.
Mhm.
And so she's like, we're not watching serial killer documentaries. We're not, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And so I have tried to maintain that where even if we're watching something, we're keeping it light, we're keeping it funny, we're keeping it, things that aren't gonna inadvertently create stress right before I go to bed. And that definitely seemed to help when I started doing that.
Nice. Yeah. I so anytime I have watched like true crime documentaries or anything scary, I will go to bed and have nightmares. There's been definitely
Mm.
times where we're watching a series and it is true crime or a scary movie or show, and I will have nightmares and I won't sleep as
Oh,
well. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, so I don't know if anyone else experiences that, but
that's not
that's something
good.
that definitely happens to me. Or like anything during the day, if I'm like focused on, I will sleep about it, or I will
Sleep about
sleep
it.
about it. I will dream about it. You know what? This reminds me, one of these times, I'm gonna have to pull up something that me and Kiana, this is totally sidetracked for a second. One of the times that me and Kiana one of the things that me and Kiana do is, we have, like, a little jar in the kitchen. Well, I do, mostly. I'll either type it in my notes so I don't forget or write it down on a piece of paper, but anytime one of us says something that makes each other laugh, like, we'll write it down. So, like, something like
Oh,
that where I say, like, something off and we just, like, crack up laughing about it.
yeah.
It originally started because it was going one of my friends told me about it because that's what her and her husband were doing, and at first it started off doing, like, cutesy type things
Hmm.
and or, like, nice things for each other, but that's totally, like, not us. Like, it does it to it,
Yeah,
like, sometimes every now and then, but mostly it's the laughs.
that's
And
us too.
so last year, we at the end of the year read some of the things from last year, and we had totally forgotten about some of them.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny, like, things that come out of our mouths or,
That's
like,
so
how
fun.
we respond. It's
So
good. I
you,
love it.
like, put them in throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, you read about the past year.
Mhm.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
That's
So just
so
an
cu
idea.
yeah, that is a
Yeah.
great idea. How fun. Alright. So, yeah, American Academy of Sleep Medicine says 7 and 9 it's I can't talk. 7 blah, 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 blah. Like 7 to 9 hours per night is what is recommended. And they also say less than 6 hours consistently is linked to increased risk of injuries, poorer recovery, and also a higher body fat percentage over time. So,
And
yeah.
I would say even I don't know if there's data to support this, but when I get too much sleep, I'm so tired and sleepy
Yeah,
and exhausted.
I
I
feel like
feel
that
even
too.
worse. And
Mhm.
for me, my sweet spot is 7.5. And usually it's hard for me to wake up in the like in the morning. It is hard for me to wake up. I want to keep sleeping. But once I get up and I'm up, it's like my energy for the day is
Yeah,
skyrocketed. Like I feel like today was a good representation of that. I woke up, I wanted to keep sleeping, I was tired, but once I was up and getting ready, I'm like, "Okay, I feel really good."
feel good.
So, like
Yeah,
7.5 hours is, like, golden for
for
me.
you. Yeah, I'm right about an 8-hour person. Right away, give or take. When it starts getting to 9 or more, yeah, I don't feel as great unless I've had a period where for some reason I wasn't getting a lot of sleep and it's like my body was just trying to catch up, that maybe is an exception. But like on weekends, if it does end up going more than
Mhm.
8, like as it gets closer to 9, yeah, I just start not feeling quite as good, which is I wonder why that
Yeah.
is. We'll have to look up why that
I
is.
don't
I don't know.
know.
I don't
And
know.
also during our period, I read
Mhm.
somewhere that we need more sleep when we're on our period,
Yes.
which totally makes sense because I have always gathered that I want to nap. Like, I will be
Mhm.
working and I'm so tired, exhausted, I can't keep my eyes open. I nap for a little bit and then I wake up and I'm fine. But that's the only time I take naps is
Yeah.
usually when it's that time of the month.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but we burn, I think it's like 250 or 300 more calories a
Mhm.
day when we're on our period. So I don't know if that maybe plays a role in it, like our body's just doing more and making us more fatigued. I'm not sure.
Totally.
But yeah, like, a lot of people will crave carbs and things like that. Like a lot of times you're craving the carbs because your body's burning a lot more and your
Oh,
body's
yeah.
craving energy.
And nutrient deficiency.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
chocolate, if you're craving chocolate and sweets, your body needs magnesium.
Yeah.
That's one like solid nutrient that we are deficient in. Well, usually all the time, but when we're on our period,
Yeah.
usually it's magnesium that your body is
Mhm.
wanting.
Yeah, or if you like salty stuff, it's like it's
Yes.
electrolytes, whether it's
Yes,
magnesium or whatever.
electrolytes. Mhm.
Mhm. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so sleep quality, if like I said before, you wake up just feeling like crap. That's and you the hours of sleep were pretty solid, but you still feel great. That's a sleep quality thing. If you wake up a lot in the middle of the night, which is making all those sleep stages I mentioned earlier like interrupted, and so your body's probably not getting into those deeper sleep stages, that will mess with your quality. And so what do we do about it? We talked about baths and showers, and I think for me and for what I tell my clients, and I think you do the same thing, we really try to reinforce solid routines.
Yes.
And so what are some things you like some routines and tips or things that you kind of tell people to help them build a routine?
I would say the big thing, kind of like how we always talk about, is to start small. Like, don't have to change
Yeah.
everything at once. Take what resonates in this episode and leave what doesn't, or leave for a later time. But taking an intake first of what is going on right now. Do you have a routine at night? A lot of people talk about morning routines, like
Mhm.
the big
Yeah. All the
personal development
influencers.
gurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, influencers. Yeah, it's always like a morning routine, like XYZ, da da da, after you wake up. But what does your nighttime routine look like? And it doesn't have to be this long thing, but 1 or 2 things that you can do to help with quality of sleep. And it totally depends on where you're at now with your season of life and what
Mhm.
you are struggling with. I would say the big thing is going to be the screen time. Like, how
Yeah.
can we mitigate that screen time so that way you're not staring at your phone before bed or like scrolling while you're in bed? And it's like, how can we just navigate that. I've had one person, something that worked for her was I think we had a time of maybe it was actually 7 p.m. It depended on what time she went to bed, but she would scroll until X time and then she could leave her phone in a different room. So she left her phone in a different room. And then I think she just had an alarm clock or something, which like who has that these days? I
I
don't know if this
know.
is very like realistic for some people. But if you're able to, or maybe even leaving your phone
Like,
away from your nightstand
right. Yeah, set
or
the
it's in the
alarm
same
and
room.
put it wherever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We have,
Yes.
like, Amazon Alexa, and she'll
Oh,
set an
yeah.
alarm, so you can have her set an alarm as well, if you don't have one.
Yes. There we go, yeah. And something for me that I've noticed is so I think a lot of times too, it's getting to know yourself. Something that I noticed for myself is when I start to get on social media at in the evening, 7, 8 p.m., that is when it's hard for me to stop.
Mm,
So I have really been working on just not going on and scrolling at that time. Maybe, yes, if I have to make a post, I'll do that, but I'll try and do that earlier on so that way I'm not tempted because I know once I get on, I scroll and it's hard for me to stop.
mhm.
So boom, that's like what I'm working on is things
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, is the screen time is
Screen, it's
huge.
so huge. It's so huge, and that's such a pervasive thing, I think, for pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
TV screen time, whether it's computer, people doing work late into the night, whether it's being
Mhm.
on the phone and scrolling, and man, there's just screens everywhere anymore, like
Yeah.
that's just life at this point, and that's such a tough one. And there's so much research too on how the screens affect our brains, and it prevents your brain from getting into like that whatever stage or whatever you want to call it of starting to prepare for bedtime. It just
Yes.
keeps your brain awake, you know what I mean? And so that's such a big thing too. One of the things that we haven't done this in a long time, but at one point we did it once or twice, once or twice. But I felt like it worked well, and I see it come up like in suggestions and other things. Is we will try to I say but it ends up being we because they live here too. I try to get lights turned off like start trying
Oh,
making
yeah.
the house a little bit darker prior to bedtime, just sort of like
Mhm.
getting into that, it's going to be bedtime soon type of thing. And also, I think just having, so I was reading, I don't know, have it. I should have pulled up what I was reading, but it talked about how when you have a consistent routine that you do every single day, over time, your brain and your body start recognizing the routine as being associated with sleep. So if you can be super consistent with the things that you do prior to bedtime, then that helps get your brain and your body preparing like, oh, we're getting ready to go to sleep, and it'll
Mhm.
start bringing down, the cortisol and the, all of that, and,
Yes.
and increasing melatonin and whatnot. And so it doesn't have to be like a super involved routine. It's just when the lights start to dim, that's like a signal to your brain, like, oh, we're going to be getting ready for bed soon. Maybe it is taking a shower or a bath before bed, or if not, for me, it's just washing my face and putting
Oh,
like
yeah.
on my nighttime face cream. Like that's just part of what I do. And one of the things I used to do that really helped me, and it's something I have a few of my clients doing right now, just because they're having some back issues, but stretching before doing some gentle
Mm.
mobility or gentle
Mhm.
stretching. I just sit in bed and I just like will reach out and try to touch my toes or do like a butterfly stretch and open up my hips and some of that stuff. And there's something about like all that stretching. And then when I lay down, it's just like, oh, like I'm ready. It's just like a
Yeah.
relaxing feeling when you lay back. So, but whatever, there could be lots of different things that you might do in that routine. One of my clients, a part of her routine, and the reason she does this is to break the screen time habit, is she, sets her whatever, she puts her phone away and she plays with her cat. And because her cat, well, she has a new
Nice.
new baby that she rescued that he had to have like his eye removed. I don't She rescued him and got him like
Oh,
all taken care of, and
baby.
it's so sweet. And so she that's what she'll play with, because I guess at night, he kind of gets a little squirrely. So she like really gets a lot of his energy out. And also, like, it's just part of her routine now, like, she's not on the
Yes.
screens, she's helping the cat get his energy out, so he's not waking her up in the middle of the night doing whatever cats do at night, and it's just become part of what she does. So she plays with him for a while, and then that's when she goes in and she, takes off her makeup and all, so it's just, you can make it whatever works for you, but as long as it's
Yep.
consistent, then it'll start sending that signal, and it'll help your body start to prepare.
Yes. You know why I like this? This is a brain pattern interruption. And I was gonna mention this, right, like, I was starting to write it down, and then you talked about this, whether it was maybe scrolling or TV, I don't remember, one of the 2 that you said,
Yeah,
yeah.
the screens, yeah.
Yes, she has interrupted that pattern with her cat and doing
Yeah.
that because here's the thing too is it's not gonna be easy, it fucking sucks and it's
Yeah,
hard, but
truly.
we're creating a new neural pathway in your brain. We're
Yeah.
creating a new pattern, a new behavior. So sometimes when you're so in your way of you're scrolling your phone or you're watching TV or whatever it may be, we have to break that pattern with something else. So she replaced that with
Mhm.
petting the cat, and that's
Yep.
perfect. And then the more that she does that, then it'll be easier and easier because then that becomes her new normal, her new
Yeah,
consistency.
yeah.
And so, yeah, if you can find, if there's one thing that you want to work on when it comes to your nighttime routine or the quality of sleep, think about how you can break that pattern with replacing it with a different behavior.
Yeah,
And I think that is something that
yeah,
once you, it's good. It's like I said, it's hard in the beginning to do. It's not easy, but you just gotta keep
yeah,
trying over and over and over again.
yeah. Like any habit, and even if you
Yeah.
find yourself you fall back to it, you gotta try and get back to it again. A
Yeah.
lot of people just do simple things like read. They'll just read in bed
Yep.
as part of the routine. I used to do word searches or crosswords, either one.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had little, it was like a little old lady. I had like the little book that you get, like at the drugstore, and I had a little pencil that was like tucked in there, and
Nice.
it was
Yes.
just sitting on my nightstand. And that's what I would just sit there and do that until I started to get tired. But it kept me off of my
Yeah.
phone. And
Yes. Yep. I
yeah,
have started to read. I have a book that I am obsessed with. I love it so much. When I was in Arizona, I read it every day, but now just with life, I don't, but I do it at nighttime. So instead of scrolling, I look forward to it, which I think is important, like looking forward to the book
yeah,
that you read or looking forward to the crossword or whatever it is. And so I will read instead of going on my phone, and that does really, really help
that's
too.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
also mentioned earlier journaling. That's
Oh,
another
yeah.
really great one.
Mm-hmm. Yes, just journaling, writing, just whatever, automatic writing, or just writing whatever
Mhm.
comes to the pen and paper, whatever comes to your mind, or maybe you want to journal about your day or something else. And also along with that, putting on maybe meditation music or sleeping music. Go on Spotify and you
Yeah.
can search sleep music and it'll
Mhm.
come up, but
We
that can help.
do nature sounds is
Yeah,
what
there we
we do.
go.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another thing to add to what you said about journaling, something that when I was a teacher and I would do presentations, this is something we would do before we would start whatever, the class or the presentation was. And it's something that always helped me. And so I assume it probably helped other people, but it was, and something I think that would be helpful to do at night, like for my, at least brains like mine, is I will write down my to-do list for the next day. So now I'm not
Yes.
thinking about it instead.
Brain dump.
Yes. So when I'm trying to sleep, my brain is going, oh, wait, don't forget to this, don't forget to that. But if I have it written down next to me, I'm not worried about forgetting it because I know it's written down. And so it doesn't keep me up.
Yes, that's such a good point because there's definitely so many times
Hmm.
when I am, like, in go mode or if I work later than I normally do and my brain is just going, then writing anything down the next
Yeah.
day to do brain dump of anything, like,
Yeah.
get it out on a paper, that can totally help, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we would do at the start of presentations, we would be like, "Okay, everybody gets 3 minutes. We know
Oh, yeah, yeah,
everybody's,
yeah.
like, thinking about all the other things you could be doing instead of sitting in this meeting right now, so write it all down so as soon as the meeting ends, you can go."
Mhm.
And so, like, everybody would take, like, 2 to 3
Yes.
minutes, and we just jot down all the things we wanna make sure we do, and it really does seem to help you focus on the meeting, it was interesting, so I like
Yep.
same concept, but at bedtime too.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, some other things that I will talk to my clients too is about making your sleep environment as clean and clutter free as you can because
Yes,
the clutter
good,
creates this
mhm.
like low level stress that we don't even really realize we have. I think we've all had that experience of having something be a mess and then when we clean it, it's like, oh my God, it's so nice.
Feels so
Yeah.
good.
It's like literally like a weight up here. You don't realize the weight was
Yes.
ever there until it's clean. And so when you can keep your sleep space, your bedroom, whatever it might be, as clean and organized as possible, we're living life here, but there's
Mhm.
something to be said for that. And also keeping it as dark as possible. There's a lot of research on even though our eyes are closed, when we have light around us, our brain is still a lot more active than when we can make our room as dark as humanly possible. So I was shocked by, do you ever like go around and I used painter's tape, like the blue painter's tape, and I went around and I covered up all the little, it was crazy to me how many little lights were on in my room. So, like, the TV,
Really?
like, even, like, the red light on the TV, like, the
Oh,
power button,
yeah.
I covered up. There's another one, it must have been something with one of my hair things, like, I don't know if it was my flat iron or blow dryer, something had a little light on it when it was plugged, like, the little LED lights all around for all that kind
Yep.
of stuff. Covered those up. It was insane how much darker my bedroom got when I covered those up.
Weird,
Yeah.
yeah, I would not have thought about that.
It's crazy, and, some people have, like, blackout curtains if you have, like, street lights and things out in front. We need blackout curtains. We don't have them, but we need them because our outside lights are very bright. But what really made a big difference in my sleep, I've been doing that maybe about a year, I don't know, I don't know how long, but, uh, I started wearing a sleep mask.
I've seen yeah, I don't do
Yeah.
that, but I know people that have done that.
It
Yeah.
made such a difference because it was, it doesn't get any darker than literally having your eyes covered up, and,
Yes.
I don't know, it was almost, I was worried that I wasn't gonna like that feeling of something being on my head while I was sleeping, but it was almost like I equate it to, like, a baby getting swaddled, like, when they get swaddled, they're like, "Oh," it was like that, like, there's something about that was like,
Your eyes.
"Okay," and it's like that signal to your body again, but it's like, "This is on, it's time to sleep." And, like, it was
Yeah.
just like it's like a comforting thing now, and if I don't have it, like, if we go to a hotel and I forget it or something, then I feel kinda weird not having it because 'cause I'm so
I
used
bet,
to it.
yeah, I feel your eyes feel naked.
Yeah, yeah, but it
Yeah.
really, and a couple of my clients use sleep masks too, and same thing, like, it made a
I'll have to maybe try that.
big difference, yeah.
Yeah. I definitely can tell a difference when things are clean and organized versus cluttered. I mean, even, like, day to day, if things are cluttered like, right now, my office is a disaster. It
Yeah.
is a disaster, and I just feel like, chaotic and clustered and, but when things are clean and organized and same thing, bedroom, even outside of kitchen area, living room, all of it, like you said, it's like a weight lifted and I'm clear-minded and just the sleep that I get when and then also pairing that with, like, the shower or, the
Mm.
bath, it is my favorite, it feels so good.
I
It
love it.
does make a big difference, though.
It really does. It's and you
Yeah.
don't, I swear it's so always, it never ceases to surprise me how different I feel when I walk into a room that was a mess and you leave or like you shouldn't clean the house, just in general. And then you like run to the
Mhm.
store and you come home and I walk in and my living room is or clean. I'm just like, oh, it feels so nice in here.
Yes.
Like, it never doesn't shock me, no matter how many
Yes.
times it happens. And you just don't realize how like tense and uptight the clutter and things made you when it
Mhm.
was there. You just, it's
Yeah.
that low level stress that you don't really realize.
Yes. There's definite data behind that too. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but I've seen it.
Agreed. So, what about some things that negatively affect sleep that maybe we don't think about or consider? And I think, like, the number one thing we've talked about this on multiple episodes, but people think that, like, their nightly glass of wine is relaxing them, but it's
Totally doing the
actually
opposite.
really jacking up your sleep. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
So,
any alcohol for that
alcohol
matter.
in general. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, it's so people think like, it might help you go to sleep faster, but your quality of sleep, like, your body almost never gets into, like, that deep REM sleep, so the quality, you're usually very interrupted, you'll be waking up a lot throughout that night, stuff like that, so it's like
Yeah, I can totally, like, and I feel like I'll, like, sometimes wake up and feel like shit. Like,
yeah,
it's not good. Even
it's
it yeah, like you said, you might fall asleep faster and you might seem like you got good sleep, but no.
yeah, no, the reality is that was affecting your brain in such a way that it never got to, like, that deep recovery, good sleep. And I think,
Mhm.
like, because sometimes people say they fall asleep faster, it's like an illusion, people think that,
Mhm.
"Oh, it's like it's helping me," but in reality, it is not. So as much as we can keep alcohol away from sleep time, the better.
Yep.
Um,
Another one that actually people don't think about that I thought of, and this is because I have a client who she realized it. I don't know how she realized it or went to the doctor or something. I don't know. But she has one eye that doesn't close all the way. And so
oh,
that has affected her
interesting.
sleep. Mhm. Mhm.
Huh.
So if you're doing all of the things and you're like, I still feel like I don't get quality sleep, get like a sleep study done, because it
Yeah,
could be your eyes not closing all the way. It could be
and
I
she
don't know what
didn't
else it could be,
know?
but
She didn't
yeah.
realize it until she did the study?
Yeah, and I don't know if it was a study she did or if
Or yeah,
she's been working with doctors, a whole bunch of
yeah.
functional medicine, homeopath, like all these different doctors. So in some way, sometimes she figured that out.
Wow. Wonder
Yeah.
if a sleep mask would help. It would at
Oh, you know
least
what? I should ask her. Yeah.
make it dark, even if it's not closing, it would still be dark at least.
I
Yeah, I don't
wonder if
know.
she uses that. I'll have to ask her.
Yeah, I don't know, that's interesting. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's sometimes if you feel like you've done all the things and you've consistently done all you can't just do it once or twice and be like, "Wow, this doesn't work." But if you've
Yeah.
consistently been trying to stay on it and all the things aren't working, absolutely worth going and talking to someone about,
Yeah.
a
Or if
professional.
you snore and you don't realize it, or what is it
Mm.
called? And then people not
Sleep
no.
apnea?
Yes, sleep apnea, that's what I was
Mhm.
thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man, my husband is a snorer. There's times where I'm just, like, poking him, and,
Dude.
my apparently my sister-in-law does too, and my brother and I, like, the day he said this, I don't know why it just struck me as so funny, but I was mentioning how and you don't know what other people do unless you say it, and so I thought I was, like,
Yeah.
the only person in the world that did this, but he gets snoring, and sometimes I'll just be like I'll, like, throw my body like this on the bed, like, I'll just, like, do this, and it makes the bed shake, and he'll stop. And,
Oh my god.
and so, like, I'll, like, do this, like, I'll shake like this, I'll just make the bed move, and sometimes he'll stop, or he'll roll over into a different position, and he'll stop snoring. And so I was just happened to be mentioning that I do that to my brother, and my brother's like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "Every night I feel like I'm doing jazzercise in my bed." And I was like, "What? Like, you too?" Like, I didn't realize other people did that when
That's
their
funny.
spouses snored, but, yeah, I always tell him, and, uh for him, it's if he ends up rolling onto his back. He snores a lot when he's on his back. So if I can get him to, like, go on his side or
Mm,
on his stomach, then he'll usually stop. But
yeah.
um,
The only time I snore, because I will, is if I'm, like, sick or if I've been drinking a lot that night,
oh,
apparently,
I
Kiana tells me I
said you
snore.
would know.
Yeah.
um, but other things that affect your sleep, your caffeine. Always keep in mind the half life of
Mhm.
caffeine is much longer than we give it credit for being.
It lasts, like, 8 hours. Like, it lasts,
Yes.
like, 8 hours 7 to 8 hours or something like
Yeah,
that after you drink it?
according to this, the half-life is 5 to 7. So
Okay,
depending
5 to
on how
7.
many milligrams of caffeine you had, but that keeps getting cut in half, like, you could still be like the example this gave, it says if that 2 PM coffee, probably still active at 9 PM.
Yes. There's
Yeah.
times I'll be drinking coffee, like, past it'll be It's bad, like 4 or 5 PM,
Mhm.
but I always think about, okay, if I can't usually I can get to sleep pretty fast. It's pretty instantaneously, shortly, like 5, 6, 7 minutes, and if I just cannot get to sleep, I usually think about the caffeine intake and when the last time it was that I
Mhm.
drank it, and if it's, usually, yeah, after 2 o'clock, 3, 4, 5, I am, like, tired, sleepy, but I can't fall asleep,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
usually it's because of that caffeine.
Yep. I used to give myself, like, a 6 p.m. cutoff because I thought that was good, and then I was like because I used to just drink it, like, all the time, like, it
Yeah,
didn't
I mean, that's
matter.
what I do
I
now,
had, like,
yeah.
no cutoff, and then
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, I need if I drink anything after 6 p.m., I'm not gonna go to sleep," and then, like, actually started learning about all of it, I was like, "The hell did I think 6 p.m. was gonna do?" Like, I'm sit still but, I mean, I
That's
guess
funny,
it's better
yeah.
than still drinking it at 8, 9, whatever, but, yeah, I try to get my caffeine stuff in the morning, and even, like, depending on when my workout is, sometimes if I take pre-workout, I'll take the non-stim kind, so it has no caffeine in it, so, like, I can still feel the other stuff, but the
Yeah.
caffeine isn't gonna be carrying over into my bedtime.
And we gotta think about, like, not just coffee now, like, people are doing the pre-workout,
Mhm.
they're doing the energy
Energy
drinks. Well,
drinks.
it's easy too to, like, drink more because it's just if you're used to having some sort of drink other
Mhm.
than water and it has some caffeine in it,
Yeah.
it's even
Yeah.
tea, like,
Yeah.
it's just so easy to do, so just being mindful of that.
Yeah, we have I love root beer. I'm a big root beer person, and I think I've mentioned this before. One of the things I like to do is I get a root beer, like a 0-calorie root beer, and I'll mix it a can of the root beer with a bottle or a can. We use that Drink Nuri brand protein shakes. They're in the can. So
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
a can of those with a can of root beer, and I just mix that in a shaker bottle, and it tastes like a root beer float. Like, it tastes like when the ice cream melts in a root beer float, you know? That's what
Yes.
it tastes like. I love it, and I drink that a lot, and so we always have root beer in the house because I do that, and so sometimes if it starts getting into the evening and I'm like, "I just want something besides water," then I'll go get that because the ones we get are caffeine free. So it still gives me, like, the fizz of the carbonation that, like, I feel like, is what I was looking for, but no
Yep.
caffeine. So just
Yep.
if that's you, have options
Yeah,
around.
decaf. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Something else I forgot to mention about your sleep environment is your temperature. Keeping your room at a cool
Yes.
temperature can really help.
Isn't there an ideal? It's like, 69, 68,
This
actually
says,
67?
yeah, this says 60 to 67.
Okay,
Yep.
yes.
Which I definitely do not keep my house that cold. I am one of those people that's always freezing. I think because I'm just a small person, I'm just always cold.
Yeah. What is
And
yours at?
oh, bro, you're gonna die. So it depends if it's summer or winter because the bills dictate a lot of what our temperature is at.
Yeah.
But in the winter is probably not too bad. I feel like it's probably somewhere between 68 and 70. So it's pretty close to that in the winter. In the summer, a couple of my friends, like, the running joke is that I live in a terrarium. And, so they're like, "Lizards would love to live in your house." I'm like, "Hey, we make it work." But yeah, it's around 80.
In the summertime?
Yeah, yeah, and we have fans, like, we'll do the fans.
This does not make sense to me.
But
Summertime, it's 80, but wintertime, when it's actually cold
yeah.
outside, you keep it colder
Well,
in your
yeah, because
house.
I don't wanna pay to heat that much. Like, to heat the house up to 80
Oh,
when
okay,
it's
okay, okay.
30
I thought
outside.
you meant okay, okay, that makes
Mm-mm.
more sense.
Yeah,
Yes,
and the
because of the
same
payments
thing with
versus how
the summer is I don't want that air conditioner running 24/7 because I live in the South.
oh
It's
god, I don't
hot
care.
as balls out there, and,
Holy
but yeah,
cow.
it's like 78, 80, yeah, in the summer. I know.
Oh,
I
fuck
know. When we
no.
have people
Nope,
like when
nope,
my
nope.
my husband's mom is coming or something, we're always like, "All right, I guess I'll go down to 76. Like, hold on, let me put my sweater on because now
Oh
I'm
my god,
cold."
I
Yeah.
hate that, like, when I'm sleeping, I hate being hot. I would rather be cold and, like, have to bundle up,
Yeah.
but when it's hot, like, and I guess when it's summertime, you can open the windows even though it's still gonna be hot and turn fans on at least, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we use our ceiling fans all the time and stuff so, like, the air's always moving. Yeah, and it doesn't all 3 of us are fine. I think we're just used to it. But
you're
you have to
probably used to it,
remember
yeah.
too, we moved here from Vegas where
Oh,
it
that's
was
true, you're used to it being hotter
consistently
more
over 100
often.
degrees. So again, you're not
Mhm.
paying like nobody is rich enough to pay, except for the casinos. No one was rich enough to pay to have your temperature go down that low when it's
That's true.
110 degrees outside every day, you know? So I mean,
Yep.
yeah, that probably does play a part in it, but the humidity here is obviously very different.
Yeah.
So that hits a lot different. The temperature here can be much lower, but feel just as bad as the high temperature there because of the humidity. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know it free up. But people are probably yelling at their phones right now that I keep my house that hot. But
Yeah.
we do. It's just what we do. You
Oh,
know, I
man.
don't think
Yeah.
we're used to it, but not great for my sleep though. Yeah. So, I mean, other than the only other thing that is really on here that we haven't talked much about is like any kind of supplements. I don't generally like recommend a lot of supplements except for maybe magnesium glycinate, but
Yeah.
you know, everybody.
One thing that we didn't talk about is nutrition. Your nutrition can
Mm,
also play a role,
yes,
and,
yeah,
uh, even so I think I'm in the believer of if you gotta eat at 9 p.m., eat at 9 p.m. You know, if
mhm,
you haven't eaten all day, you're gonna go to bed at, like, 9:30. Like, I've eaten something and then gone to bed, but there is definitely something to be said about when you eat before bed and maybe it's more of like the highly processed
mm,
foods, the high sugar type foods, you likely won't sleep as well as if it's more, whole foods, or if you give yourself a couple hours before you go to sleep to kind of
yeah,
let that digestion happen, you'll probably sleep better too.
yeah.
But also just overall, the way that you eat will likely affect how you sleep and the quality of your sleep and all of that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I had read a while back, and it seems to have worked for a lot of people. Is if you are having a hard time falling asleep, like you just feel like you're awake and you can't get to sleep, sometimes just having a little bit of carbs can help. So even if
Yes.
it's just like a few crackers, like nothing that's heavy, it's just gonna like sit in your stomach. You know, I've had some people that'll just do like a couple of handfuls of Cheerios. When I was young, I don't know if this is something an experience everybody had, but when I was a kid, one of the things my mom used to always do for us if we couldn't sleep is she would always heat up a glass of milk. She would have us drink warm milk. Did you
Oh
do
my god!
that?
Oh my god! We did warm milk and honey, but that was like
Mm.
when we were
You're
sick, like
sick.
he would do that. Warm
Yeah.
milk and honey.
Oh,
Yes.
funny. Yeah, we didn't do the honey, but she would be like, just drink a glass of warm milk. It'll relax you.
Oh my gosh,
And
that's so
so
funny.
once I, got older and learned about some, like, why did the warm milk work? Well, there's carbs in milk. The warm
Mhm.
is like soothing and calming, and there's also
Yep.
protein in there. So if you're
Yep.
having any unstable blood sugar things, that protein can help stabilize your blood sugar.
Mhm.
And yeah, so I was like, man, there's really something to the warm milk thing. But
Yeah. I'm glad you said that because that also made me think of like our hormone cortisol too
mm,
when we eat. That's why like I feel like I naturally did this before learning about it, but if I have more carbs later on in the day, I feel better. Also paired with protein, but like I feel better and I do sleep better if I have
yeah,
carbs before bed.
yeah, carbs
So
like
that's
stem the cortisol response. So that's
yes.
why, like, after a workout, workouts are considered stress on our body. They're good stress, but they're still considered a stress.
Yeah.
So after our workouts, if we have carbs along with our protein, that helps stem off that cortisol response so that your body can go back into like repair versus, the stress mode.
Yeah.
So same thing with bedtime.
And yes, and I think even having that be a part of your routine, like if
Hmm.
you like tea or something warm and soothing, like that can be something do it while you journal, while you read,
Yeah.
while you're in the bath. I do something, I don't know if you guys have this around there, but it's called Calm and there's magnesium in it and I don't remember what else, but it's just like I heat up
It-
water, I
oh,
scoop
okay.
it in
Like
there, it like foams up a little bit. It's like a tea
a tea.
almost. It's not a tea, but it's a powder, so it's kind of a supplement. You categorize
Yeah.
it as that, but I I don't take it all of the time, but when I do, if I'm struggling to sleep or I just want that nighttime, like, soothing warm soothingness, I sleep so much better. Like, I get
Really.
into deep I can tell 100% when I take it, I get into more of, like, this deep sleep. I don't wake up as often.
Mm.
I usually wake up at least one time in the middle of the night, which I have something to say about that in a little bit here, but I'll wake up once to maybe go to the bathroom, and then I'm able to fall back asleep again right away. But a lot of times when I take that, I don't wake up at all, and I just
Hmm.
feel like I don't feel drowsy either when I wake up. It's more of
That's
like I
great.
feel good, I feel energy, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just feel like I get good quality sleep when I take that.
Yeah.
So that's something do you guys have that? Have you heard of that,
I
Calm?
feel like I've heard of it, but I didn't know what
Okay.
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never used it or anything. I don't know. I hear people talk about sleepy time tea. I don't know if that's
Oh my god,
something
I used
like.
to have that growing
Did
up,
you
sleepy
like?
time tea. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I don't
I
know
used
what
to
it
get
is,
big
but
into tea. I used to have sleepy time. It's just a I don't even know what kind. It's like a herbal tea,
Oh, okay.
and, yeah, I would have that before bed.
Okay.
I don't know what's in it
Yeah, I
exactly,
don't
but
know.
sleepy time tea.
I know
It's
things
funny.
like, just only because, when my son was a baby, like, there all kinds of baby stuff would come in lavender, like, with lavender
Mm.
scents, because apparently lavender is supposed to be
Yes.
calming and
Yes,
relaxing,
yes.
so I don't know if there's something
That's
I don't know,
another one
something like
too.
that.
I totally believe in that. I mean,
Yeah.
essential oils, I don't know your belief on it, but I totally believe smells. I don't remember. I listened to this on another podcast, but they were talking about the smell of something and how that affects, like, I think there's science behind it, how it affects the brain, even music when we listen to
Mm,
things. So some people think essential oils is bullshit, and, like, I think it depends on where it comes from, but
yeah,
smells, like lavender,
definitely.
peppermint, like, all of those things, I totally believe
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it works.
I definitely believe that there are certain. I think where I think the essential oil thing went wrong is they just tried doing too much. Because I think there's
Yeah.
absolutely legitimate things, and they tried making it a cure for everything in the world, I think that's
Yeah.
where they went wrong. But, like, yeah, the lavender stuff, and also, like, you mentioned peppermint just now, like, when I was pregnant, like, I could just smell the peppermint stuff, and
Mhm.
it would help with nausea,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
much. Yeah, it made a big difference, and this is not that, but it just reminded me because it happened just yesterday. I always in every spring and then through the summer, I mix peppermint, just in a spray bottle with water, like a bunch of I forget what the ratio is, but it's a big bottle of water and then just a little bit of peppermint, and I use it and I spray around the baseboards and the door frames of my garage gym, and it keeps the spiders and the wasps out. Yes, and it
Oh,
works, like,
shit.
yeah, so yesterday we had 2 wasps come in during my training sessions when I had clients in yesterday, and I was like, "Where the hell's my peppermint spray?" So I'm trying to find it, and
Oh
yeah,
my
so we
god.
sprayed it. I sprayed, like, the door, but I needed to mix up more. I ran out, so I didn't get to do the whole thing because I hadn't done it yet this year in the winter, I don't really worry about it. But,
Yeah.
yeah, this time of year, all the bugs are trying to find,
Yeah.
somewhere to go, and yeah, so that the peppermint can work for that too, so
Do not put peppermint near your eye, though. I think one time I, like, was smelling it, and I was, like, putting it here because I couldn't breathe. That helps you to, like,
oh,
breathe more
yeah,
too,
mhm.
and I ended up putting it, like, right on my
Oh, no.
like, my, temple, like, right here on both sides, and I just remember it burning my
Oh,
eyeballs so
no.
bad. Yeah, so don't put it anywhere
Oh,
near your
no,
temple,
don't
like,
go to
that's
your
not good.
that's a bad idea.
Chest, totally fine. Temple, no.
No.
Yeah,
That's one
no.
of those "ask me how I know" kind of things.
Oh my god, yeah.
Um,
I'll say the other thing too, like with, going back to the calm and the magnesium, I do have, like I used to take a magnesium supplement, just like the capsule,
mhm,
and, I did feel like it helped with my sleep too, like it wasn't, sometimes people notice a difference, but I think it just depends, and most of the time we're deficient. Everyone's, I think, is
yes,
deficient in magnesium, so
pretty
it's good to take,
much, yeah,
and magnesium is good for so many different things, but sleep is one of them, so if you wanna try magnesium as
yeah.
a magnesium glycinate, I think there's multiple
Glycinate. Mhm,
magnesium,
yeah, there's
so
different ones. Citrate is the one that's gonna make you poop. Don't do that one
oh, yeah, that's right.
unless you can't
Mhm,
poop. But, yeah,
mhm,
glycinate, and I've seen like malate, I've seen some people say too, it's kinda with the bedtime thing, but I think it does something else. I can't remember exactly, but glycinate is
mm,
usually the most recommended one, especially, that's one too that comes up a lot in, like, menopause and perimenopause type like literature and things like that. That's one of the ones that we tend to be deficient in. It can make a really big difference for women like 35 and up. And also, I don't know if this is true. So I'm going to, that, what I just said about menopause and perimenopause, that is actual science. I don't know if what I'm about to say is actual science because it was literally an Instagram post that I saw. So I don't know how, like, the scientific basis of it. But what it said was that because of how our brains work, people with ADHD tend to be more likely to be magnesium deficient because your brains just run through it and use
mm,
it so much faster. So supplementing with magnesium, especially the bedtime kind, can make a big difference there too. Don't
mhm.
know. Don't quote me on that. Don't come at me. But that was a post that I saw. I'm like, well, that makes sense to me because I definitely know. I mentioned I wear my watch when I sleep, and I track my HRV, and, that's one of the ones that's so telling to me what's happening with my body. My HRV is very sensitive to if I drink any alcohol, if I'm not recovered, if I'm stressed, like, I can see it. And if I go through a period of time where I forget to take my magnesium at bedtime, then my HRV, it'll be whatever it is. But then when I remember to start taking it again, like slowly over a couple weeks, it'll slowly, like one number at a time,
Mm,
it'll start increasing. So I'm like, I can, like, I definitely can tell, like, not only
yeah.
feel it, but like numerically, I can see it that it's making a difference.
Yes, nice. And that's yeah, it's like an overtime thing.
Mhm.
Melatonin, I have had people say that they've tried melatonin, and I always recommend magnesium over melatonin.
Same.
Melatonin is great to take over time,
Mhm.
and also people have just whack out dreams, like
Yeah.
super vivid and not great, and it's yeah, I would say melatonin, if you can, don't
Yeah.
that's not something I don't think is a
Yeah. That's one that I tend to avoid that partly too because melatonin, your body adapts to melatonin. And so, like, a lot of times you'll need to start taking it more over time
Yes.
in order to
Yes, yes,
have the
yes.
same effect, you know? And so, like,
Yep.
you have to keep increasing the dosage. So, it's one of those ones where if you're gonna take it, it's something you just want it to be like a quick
Yes.
temporary thing and then you wanna stop. Whereas
Yes.
magnesium, you can take every single day.
Yep. Yep, yep, I'm glad you said that,
Yeah.
yes. Do you sleep with a fan or are you quiet, like, silent? I don't remember if we've talked about
I
this.
so in the summer we have our ceiling fan going because it's 80 degrees in my house. But any time of year, I sleep with nature sounds. It's on our Alexa. It's called rainforest sounds, and
Mm,
it's like water trickling, like birds, some chirping, but stuff like that. So I sleep with
mhm.
that on.
Yeah, I normally sleep all my life I've had to sleep with a fan, or, like, white noise of some sort.
Mm.
Sometimes if I don't have a fan, I'll YouTube it. But or on the phones now, they have, like, white
Yeah.
noise. But Kiana does not. She's like, thinks it's obnoxious, and she used to be fine with it, or she put up with it, but
Oh,
lately, it's like she doesn't like it. It's too obnoxious for her. And so but,
wow.
like I've turned it off, I'll just use the ceiling fan, and I do not sleep as well, I'll wake up
Mm-mm.
more, I don't sleep as well, but we now are starting to put on, like I'll put like, last night, I put on sleeping music, like
Yeah.
nature sound, sleeping spa sound, whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that I don't know, that could maybe help people sleep if you don't sleep with anything right now, maybe
Yeah.
try that.
I like
Yeah.
what the nature sounds for me, because they're like sounds that are familiar, like I said, like just running water or birds chirping, things like that. It helps me turn my brain off from thinking about all the other things because I force myself to imagine myself in that place where I'm hearing those sounds. So like in my head, I'm always like in a
Good
hammock.
point.
And I'm like
Yes.
imagining myself, I'm in a hammock and I'm hearing these and I look over and I see this beautiful bird or you know what I mean? Like I try to
That's
put
like
myself
meditating.
yeah, I try to put myself
Yeah,
like in this like really calming, beautiful space and it helps stop me from thinking about like stress and stuff like that.
Yep. Yep, that's good. Yeah, maybe we'll try that. I
Yeah,
was gonna look on Amazon to see too if there's, like, some sort of, like, machine that you can play that will have
I
not
bet.
white noise, but, like, sleeping sounds
Um,
or
if you
nature.
look at Spotify too, because when I'm at hotels
Yeah.
and I don't have my Alexa, I just type in nature sounds on Spotify,
Oh,
and
yeah,
people
that
have
okay.
like 10-hour playlists that I will just put
Oh,
on,
nice.
and I'll just let it run.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that helps us a lot. And when I don't have it, I can tell.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll have to try that and see.
yeah. Okay. Anything else you can think of for
I
this
yeah,
sleep stuff?
actually one for, can't believe we didn't say this, but exercise. So not
Oh,
necessarily like
duh.
duh. Not like for some this is also I think where it's important to trial and error, experiment, get to know yourself and what works
Hmm.
best for you or not. Because some people, if they exercise and lift weights like an hour, a couple hours before bed, it wakes them up and they cannot fall
Right.
asleep. For me, I love it. Like it will put me to sleep, and it's the endorphins or it lowers the stress. Like for me, it helps me to sleep. But I think it's the exercise that you do over time that will
Hmm.
accumulate and as a collective help you to sleep better
Yes.
overall.
Yeah, I'd read something once where they basically said, think of it as if you're having a hard time sleeping, it might just be that your body has this pent up energy that you haven't used. And so when you go exercise and
Yes.
you move your body, you are getting that energy out in this positive way so that you're actually tired when you go to bed,
Yes.
you know?
I
Um,
love that.
that same client that I mentioned about with her cat, she had said in one of her check ins once that there was one day where she got like a little keyed up with the cat, like chasing each other, not just playing, but like full on, like running around chasing each other. She got her heart rate up. She said, I slept like a baby that night.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just interesting how, some people that close to bedtime, that might not be great. But for some people, that if just a quick burst, it's not like you're, doing heavy lifts or something like that, but just
Yeah.
that quick burst of like just kind of getting all that energy out. And then she was like, boom, and she slept great that night.
Yep.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other
All
than
right.
that, I think that's all I got. Pretty much
Yeah,
it.
man. I feel
I'm
like
trying to think
we,
if there's any other like actions, behaviors, things that I tell
yeah.
people, but I think we covered it.
Another
Yep.
one too, actually, that we didn't say is consistent bed and wake times.
Mm.
Like trying
Mhm.
to be as consistent as you can with
Mhm.
your bed, like within
Yes.
the same like 30 to 60 minutes of going to bed and waking up, whether it's a work day or not a work day. I know that's hard.
Yes.
But the more consistent you can make your sleep time and your bedtime, because your circadian rhythm is adapting to
Yep.
that. So
Yep.
when you can keep it consistent, you're working with your body instead of against it. And it's allowing your body to get into those,
Yep.
sleep, ready for sleep.
I can totally tell a difference too because lately, like if I can totally tell on the weekend when we sleep in versus when I try to wake up early. And then it makes it harder to wake up early during the weekday
Yeah.
if I'm sleeping in on the weekends.
Yeah.
And it just, yeah, messes it all up. So that this is something that, yeah, you can try and get a good routine if you can control it
Right.
to
Right.
because yeah, sometimes you can't control it depending on work and kids and all of that. But yeah, if you can, that'll make a big difference.
Yeah. All right. I think it's the last thing I had on my list.
Nice. Hour and 45. Here we go.
We were like, "This is gonna be a quick one."
I know every time, every
LOL.
time.
Yeah, well, we
LOL.
are who
Yeah.
we are. So, if y'all could go ahead and leave us a 5-star review wherever it is that you're listening, that would be amazing. On Apple Podcasts, you can type us out a review too. That tells everybody how amazingly awesome we are, and that's really helpful, and we appreciate that so much. You
Yeah.
can
It really
find
helps too, like, because a lot of people will search podcasts and, like, for me, if I'm looking for a podcast, I will go to the reviews and see what people are saying
yeah,
about it, and it makes a difference as if I'm gonna start listening to that podcast or not.
yeah,
So
for
it makes a big
sure.
difference, and we would very much appreciate it.
Very much. And you can find us on all the socials at You Bob Pod.
You
and
Bob Pod.
email us youbobpod@gmail.com. And hopefully I will actually check the email. I haven't been as good at
I
that
say that all the
lately.
time.
I've been very distracted the last like month. But
Okay.
and don't forget, we have our merch store is up and open at
Yes.
you can click the link on our socials. I realized the other day there's nowhere on TikTok to put a link for our link tree on TikTok. I think we might need to
No,
switch.
really?
Yeah, I think we might need to switch what kind of like I don't know what kind of if we have like a personal account or a business or a creator, whatever it is. I think we might need to switch the type of account because I've tried to mess with it and I can't figure out how to put a link on
Oh,
there.
weird. Yeah, I
So
thought you could. Hmm.
yeah, but the link is on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So you can find it there and get your UBOB
And it'll be in the show
merch.
notes.
And in the show
Show notes.
notes. Good
Yeah,
call, good
I
call.
always link it there at the bottom, so,
Awesome.
yeah.
All
Okay.
right. Thanks, y'all.
Alright, bye for now.
Bye.